You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Welcome back, Travis Winfield. How are you, my friend?
What's up, brother? How you doing, Ron? Good to be back, my friend. How's everything going with you on this awesome show you got going on?
All doing great. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Roast Suckling Pig Day. I am, just give me the bacon. You have to go through all that fancy stuff. Although I do like luau's, but everything is a little bit better with bacon. Just throw that out there for you. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to look and see what the markets are doing today? Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 64 points. The S&P is up 22.93. NASDAQ is up 65. Oil up $1.69 a barrel. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's take a look and see what else is going on. $1.69 a barrel, and because of, I'm just going to say it, because of the weakness in the White House. So here's the issue. We're going to have oil prices are going to jump up even more. 30% of the world's cargo goes through the Suez Canal. And yeah, the Red Sea's right there. And now, because of a lack of the United States using the best weapon we have, I know I love our military, but the best weapon we have is deterrence, right? And if people wonder what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, yeah, you don't have to use as much on the military, depend as much on the military, because they know they're there. They know their might. But you get in a government of appeasement, and it doesn't work quite as well. That's where we are right now. When we've had 70 attacks on our military bases in the Middle East and we've done nothing. We have attacks going after our ships. And now finally we're shooting down some of the drones that are coming out of the Houthis. Think about those things. So we're going to watch, because now what's happened, British Petroleum came out and said they're not going to be running any of their tankers through the Red Sea. Too much danger. A lot of cargo ships not going to be running through the Red Sea. Too much danger. Think about that, because Big Brother's not out there doing the things that Big Brother can do. Maybe if the president would wake up and get out of the way and let the military do these things instead of appeasing Iran all the time, we wouldn't have these issues. And now what's happening? We're seeing that in the last week, oil's gone up, 10%? Just in the last week alone? Just throw that out there for you. Election, probably the only thing I ever heard Barack Obama say that I agreed upon. Elections have consequences. And we're dealing with those right now. So take heed. Throw in there also, I did attend the Chapman University Economic Forecast last week. Thursday afternoon, spent most of the afternoon listening to what they had to say. A lot of interesting commentary. Not sure I agree with it. I told you last year they were going to get real estate wrong. They did. Of course, I shouldn't say they got it wrong. Well, here's the fact of it. If you listen to the forecast last year and you listen to the forecast this year, Dr. Doty, friend of ours, basically said they got most everything wrong, but they explained why, which is always good. I love it when you go to an economic forecast and they tell you about their results from the prior year, and then they try and figure out, okay, why did we have the issues that we had? Well, with Chapman, it was pretty simple. How can you forecast the amount of extra spending that they had at Chapman? How could you forecast? The government initially said they were going to spend $600 billion. Chapman put in $1.4 trillion. They spent $2 trillion over budget, over what they'd expected. When that happens, it's hard to forecast those things. So you can see why Chapman got it wrong. Now, when it comes to real estate, I'm going to tell you, I told you right when they said it, that real estate was not going to drop 11%. Not going to drop 11% in California. It did not drop 11% in California. Now, what Chapman forgot to mention at the forecast update was median home prices. Well, maybe median prices did go down because the higher end of the market did not have as much sales. Why? I consulted with somebody on Friday. Why are the high-end homes not hitting the amount of sales? Because there's none for sale. Client I spoke to on Friday, they were wondering why they're not getting as good a deal as they want. Simple. There are 3 homes for sale over $2 million in Fullerton, California. 3. Now, when you start looking at the amount of and I think that for the total for the city was 18. When you start total homes for sale, not just the high-end homes, total homes for sale. When you're looking at 18 homes being the total number of properties for sale, well, you're not going to get a whole lot of sales. Okay, as of this week, we're looking at, okay, it was 49 last week, it's 45 this week, down 10%. When you have no properties available for sale, sales drop. Well, Chapman's forecasting that real estate sales for the next year are going to drop. Well, until we get inventory, how can they go up? What's going to drive inventory? I love it when I hear these folks call me, and I get this all the time. Ron, I'm waiting for the great reset. Okay, well, Hillary Clinton's not in office anymore. We're not going to have a reset. What the heck are you talking about, a great reset? What is the catalyst for real estate values to drop? Now, I listened to my friend Dan Rawitz last night. He puts out a great bit of information. He shared some data that we are significantly behind in the Federal Reserve dropping interest rates. Historically, we never go this long with so many of the Federal Reserve rates or the Treasury rates inverted like they are right now. What does that mean? I don't want to talk where people don't understand. Inverted. That means that the short end of the curve is lower than the high. The short end of the curve is lower than the high end of the curve. Easy for me to say. When that happens, that's an inversion. You should get paid for risk. Risk means time in this instance. So if you're going to have your money invested, a bond, for 30 years, you should get paid more than if you've got a 2-year note. Right now, it's the other way around. Whenever that's happened historically, the Federal Reserve drops rates to get things in line. But the Fed hasn't done that. They're going to do it. That's going to happen next year. And as they do that, they drop rates next year. Even more people are going to be out there looking to buy real estate. So what's going to be the catalyst for a reset or dropping or dropped prices? Nothing. Prices will continue to go up. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, our favorite veteran realtor is going to be with us. We're going to talk to him about helping our veterans, why now is still a great time to sell your house, and if we get to it, what's the 524 rule for credit cards, and we're definitely going to give away a trip We know we'll get to that one. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And I will share that our team at Geneva is the #1 lending team in America for Homes for Heroes. Love that. We had that honor last year. We have that honor again this year. And yes, I did get certified as a veteran mortgage advisor so I can help our veterans. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. We don't know APR, points paid, points received. We know locked rates across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans, 6.687, up a little bit. 30-year jumbo loan, 6.933, up just a little bit. These are all Friday's closings, so we know about as much closest data or as current data as you can get. 30-year FHA loan, 6.597. That was up just a little bit. 30-year USDA rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.561, and the best loan on the market, the 30-year VA loan, 6.231. was where the 30-year VA loan closed at or average locks on Friday, 6.231. If you want our market commentary, we send that out every morning as early as the data allows. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. Get on the list for free. Cost you absolutely nothing. Let's take a look at what's going on today in the markets. The S&P 500 is now up 25.29. 10-year treasuries are up 3 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities are down 7. The reason we always look at the bond price on the mortgage-backed security. So when that bond is down, that means the rates are up. And it all has to do with The Federal Reserve. Yeah, they didn't like the idea that Chairman Powell came out and gave honest commentary last week on Wednesday. So we've been getting a lot of folks trying to push that back. So we got Cleveland Fed President Mester saying, yeah, we don't think we're going to be lowering rates anytime soon. She will be voting next year. Austin Goolsbee does not vote in 2024. Says the Fed has made a lot of progress in 2023, but their work is not done. I never listen too much to what Austin Goolsbee has to say because he is so partisan. He's one of the partisan members out there. I don't know why you want to have partisan hacks as being running the Federal Reserve, but it's supposed to be, well, of course, I don't know why you have lawyers doing it either when it's an economic area. PCE, the personal consumption expenditures, are going to be coming out this week. So we're watching for that one as well. Markets expecting core reading for those that do not eat and don't need energy to go up 0.2% to 0.3 from 0.2 to 0.3, caused the year-over-year reading to decline from 3.5 to 3.4. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that your next home loan, Geneva's got them all. USDA, FHA, VA, conventional, jumbos, bank statements, no income. I mean, everything you want. They've even got the Home Select for those people that don't want to make a traditional mortgage payment and pay off their loan, their 30-year loan in half the time. All of them are there at Geneva. Well, let's bring in our friend. Travis Winfield is with us this morning, our favorite veteran. Travis, what part of your business is in the veteran community?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's, I retired from the Navy 7 years ago. And this year I actually rebranded my real estate team to the MORE Group, which stands for, as you can see over my head, Military Operated Real Estate Group. So actually everything we do is devoted to giving back to veterans and specialize in that field.
I thought that you were one of the, that was where you heavily were, was in the veteran space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that we've talked about on the program before, is that, in my opinion, the military doesn't do our veterans a great does an injustice to them in not giving as much financial education as the men and women deserve heading out the door. And they don't really know what their veteran entitlement is. I've talked to so many that think, okay, well, I'm going to go rent a house or lease a property. And my comment is it costs you more to start a lease than it does to buy your own house. Do you find the same thing?
Oh man. Oh my gosh. It's what I literally go door to door with. And it's not just the military, for the record. It's actually our youth in general. I mean, there's
That's
only
true.
7 states in the entire country that teach any kind of financial health in some kind of high school. So I just happen to focus on the military because that is where, I spent more than half my life there. But yeah, absolutely. We do a lot of amazing things in the military, but one of the things we're not the best at is teaching financial health. And so I literally go door to door. I teach a class every month called Military Money and More, where we actually teach all the basics, right? Like how to build a budget, how to get and maintain good credit, how to invest, not just in real estate, but stocks, bonds. We talk about like crypto and NFTs, all different facets, just to help these military folks actually learn how to build wealth while on active duty.
I missed the last part. While they're in active duty or after post-active duty?
While they're on active duty. So I focus on the active duty component because to your point, there is incredible resources and benefits out there serving our military, both active and those who get out, but there's no marketing budget to tell them they exist. So one of my things is I go door to door just trying to pass off all the benefits that really help them. And that's what makes me a specialist in this field.
Well, I think it's a great service because so many of them, and you're right, it starts in the schools. The schools do, in my opinion, a very, very poor job now. I don't think any one of my 3 boys were ever told what a mortgage is, how to pay it, what a credit card is, what an amortization table looks like. So where are they getting that stuff? So it's great that you're out there, it's almost like a postgraduate education is what you're
right,
giving.
It feels like it.
Do they have any? Do you have to start really, really basic, or do they have any foundational knowledge?
I tell people when they start my class that I'm going to teach them just enough to get themselves in trouble. but it's a good stepping stone because, you'd be shocked at what you don't know. I could even tell you this, after 24 years in the military myself, when I retired, I could tell you, I feel like I've been drinking through a fire hose when it comes to financial health and just the things that you just almost feel like you're in a bubble when you're in the military. That they tell you this, when you're in the military, they say, hey, if you want a budget, go see your command financial specialist. The command financial specialist go gets a 2-week training at the Fleet and Family Service Center, who is being taught by people who get paid minimum wage. So for me, that's kind of like the blind leading the blind, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. And it's great that you have somebody that's been real successful, post-military, in the military, but post-military as well, going out there and sharing that knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm passionate about.
Is it so how long is your course, Travis?
It's only about an hour. It can go to an hour and a half, depending on number of questions, but it's been a phenomenal success. The foundation that I've done it through, I'm on the board of directors for a non-for-profit called the Enlisted Leadership Foundation. And we teach leadership and financial health to active duty military. It started with just leadership, right? And the really thing that makes us different is when we teach leadership to active duty military, it's not just military members teaching leadership. We actually bring CEOs of civilian corporations so that our military members can get kind of a blend, more tools in their toolbox for leadership. And then I brought to the table the financial health piece because I saw such a missing component on even our leadership. I mean, our leaders, I know admirals and generals who can't rub 2 nickels together. That's a problem in my eyes.
Sure. Yeah. Well, because, and again, I only speak secondhand, but from the men and women that I speak to, you're used to being told everything to do from sunrise to sunset. And when it comes to something that's outside that box, where are you going to get that education?
Right.
So it's wonderful that you're doing it. Now you have an event coming up. What, next month is when you're coming back to them again?
Well, you talking about my financial health class?
Right.
Yeah. So I teach that online virtually every month, normally the last Tuesday of every month. So the next one is the 23rd of January, I believe, at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And, again, it's just a link. You can get on Zoom and join in. And it's just, it doesn't cost a thing. It's just something I'm passionate about because, my day job, if you will, is the Moore Group. But this is my philanthropic endeavor just to kind of help people get across that threshold because, gosh, man, this country, we're so embedded on a debt-based society. And there's the difference between good debt and bad debt, right? Like mortgages are, in my opinion, a good debt, right? Because it's an appreciating asset that you're borrowing money and leveraging OPM, as we call other people's money. Whereas alternatively, I try to teach people to shy away from the rotational credit cards, like, the rotational credits, like credit cards you're paying like minimum payments on and you're paying interest only. Those, in my opinion, are bad debt.
Sure. It's what got us in the big trouble in 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
People took mortgages to buy a car or a boat or a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's not what the mortgage is intended for.
No.
Take a mortgage and go buy a rental property.
Well, the 2008 crash was also the fact that we did those, those subprime loans that we had nothing to verify. I mean, that quite frankly, those strippers out there getting loans for $2 million and they were making cash and they couldn't pay it off. So they were doing this stated income loans that unfortunately, when they can't pay it off, that's what ran into this. And that's where a big part of that crisis came from.
Well, it's good that you're out there educating the folks so that they have a good idea of, I'm a big believer that if you hide these things, hide the cause of what happened in 2007, well, you're going to have a problem. You're going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're out there telling these folks, okay, this is what caused that problem, there's going to be people that put their head in the sand and it's going to happen again for them.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can navigate that and kind of push that back on some other folks. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Travis Winfield when we come back. Why now is still a great time to sell your house. And then we're going to give away a trip. 4 days, 3 nights, Lake Tahoe. 4 days, 3 nights, Nashville. Or 6 days, 5 nights going to Hawaii. We're going to give that away in our season of giving today. So we have all of that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Why now is still a great time to sell your house. If you're worried buyer demand disappeared when mortgage rates went up, the data shows there are plenty of interested buyers still out there. The housing market isn't as frenzied as it was during the unicorn years when buyer demand was through the roof. Mortgage rates were historically low and home values rose like we've never seen before. But that doesn't mean the market is still at a standstill. Nationally, demand is still high compared to the last normal years in the housing market, and plenty of buyers are making moves right now. Here's the data to prove it. Showing traffic is up. Showing time, showing index is a measure of how frequently buyers are touring homes. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video streams, you're seeing a chart of showing traffic above the unicorn years. The unicorn years are shown in pink. You can see demand has dipped some since then. That's in response to higher mortgage rates. When you compare 2023 to the blue bars on the chart, that's on the left, that represent the normal years in the market, 2018 to 2019, you can tell buyers are still more active than the norm. But showing traffic, it isn't the only way to see buyer demand is still high. The number of offers other sellers are getting and the average days homes on the market tell the same story. Sellers are still seeing multiple offers, according to the latest data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR. Sellers are receiving an average of 2.5 offers on their houses. So let's look at that, how it compares to the recent years. We've got a graph on that one as well. So it's more than 2018, 19, and 22. Unicorn years still beat it. So again, it's fewer home prices. Again, are homes priced right are selling fast. It's not just that sellers are still typically getting multiple offers more than the norm. They're also seeing their homes sell fast. That's a direct result of strong buyer demand. According to Zillow, quote, low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition. Demand has remained resilient and attractive. Appropriately priced listings are moving quickly, unquote. To help showcase that homes for sale are still going quickly, let's look at data from the National Association of Realtors on the median days on market for this same time of year from 2018 through now. Again, you can see they're still strong. This year, homes are sitting on the market only slightly longer than they were during the frenzy of the unicorn years. And compared to the last normal years in the market, homes are still selling much faster than they did back then. That's good news for sellers because it means there are eager buyers out there right now. Bottom line, you have not missed your chance to sell at a time when sellers are receiving multiple offers and homes are selling fast. When you're ready to sell your house, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Continue our conversation. Travis Winfield is with us. The Moore Group is the name of the company. He is our favorite veteran military advisor. I guess we can't call you a military realtor because you go way more than that, Travis. You're out there educating a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like I said, when you everybody finds their niche in life. And, after spending more than half my life in the military, I've now seen where we are shortfalls. And so I just feel like my calling is to fill in those gaps where, what the military can't do. And the financial piece of it is just huge, in my opinion.
I think it would be wonderful. I wonder what would happen if you're doing one of your Zooms and, you've got someone that's relatively newly enlisted, and then you've got an admiral that comes on and saying, I want to learn this stuff too. I think that would be.
Believe it or not, I actually had the most recent Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy came to one of my class a few months ago. And afterwards, he's a friend of mine now, and we got to talking. And, this is the most senior enlisted guy in the Navy, right? And he said afterwards, like, Travis, we really need to get this briefed at like the highest level because, right now the military, a lot of people don't realize the military changed their retirement plan. So now when you join the military, it's no longer you get a retirement when you first get out and retire. You have to wait. It's like a 401k now. You got to wait until like age 57 to collect your retirement. So, and they're giving these young people options to opt in or opt out. So unfortunately, I feel like we're kind of just kicked that can down the road, and we're going to be heading in for a major financial disaster for our veterans when they retire because they're not going to have anything to like hold back, land on. So as the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy said, he's like, we really need to get ahead of this and start teaching earlier in their careers.
So are they? The other question that would come up though is that then are the military men and women getting paid enough to? Because you always hear that they're the last ones on the totem pole getting paid. They'll give raises to everybody and their uncle, but the men and women that allow us to be free, are they giving them the funding? I mean, if you take away the retirement early, then you say, okay, put money into a retirement account. Well, where's that money coming from?
Right. Well, I think honestly, I mean, I'm not a politician and I don't claim to be, but I mean, obviously some kind of money saving tool went into this when it came to our budget. And I personally, it's not just the military for that record. I think all first responders are sorely underpaid, whether it be the military, police officers, first responders, teachers. Like, these are the foundation of our society and we pay them peanuts. So, it's don't get me on my soapbox with that.
Okay. So where will these folks go? I've got to believe that from what you're sharing, you're doing a 1-hour seminar on something that I think I spent maybe 2 or 3 years in college studying.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the next step from them after they get this taste from you?
Well, I encourage them. I connect them with people. I connect them with financial advisors, CPAs. I connect them with. I have an attorney that helps with disability benefits. So insurance professionals. So I have this core group of professionals that are also veterans in their own right and can help support this this endeavor that we're having. But like I said, it's just one of those things. Like if we could save one person, you were kind of going down a good road. What can be worried about down the road is we already have a humongous veteran homeless population. Now imagine you spend your entire career carrying a weapon and your only skill set in life is to kill people, right? I mean, I'm just going to call it how it is. And then the Navy says, or the military says, okay, your time in our military is done. And now you get out and now you have to wait essentially another decade and a half before you get any kind of pay and there's no transferable skills, right? You can't go get a job at, Merrill Lynch when you only know how to, carry a gun. So we're heading for, I think, a really big military homeless population or influx in the next 10 to 15 years.
Wow, that's startling because you don't really, you hear those things, but you're so correct because, I mean, I've got some friends that have got some really, really good jobs based on the skill set that they learned in the military, in electronics and areas like that. But that's not the average, right? That's not the masses.
No, it's not.
And we've got to, we owe it to the men and women of the military to give them these transferable skills. And you would think that there would be, and again, I'm just speaking out from my own thought process, having not ever served, but I got to devote a little bit of time, especially as people are getting ready to get out of the military, to help them and solve this problem.
I agree. I mean, remember this: we are the land of the free because of the brave.
Absolutely,
and we tend to forget that. And time heals all. Let's be real. The reason why that the retirement plan has changed and all these things are being cut is because time heals all, right? What happened after World War II? We had a massive boom, really supported our vets and everything coming home. Then, of course, we had the unpopular war of Vietnam, and that's just an unfortunate time in our history. And I think people will always look back on that almost embarrassed at how we treated our vets. And now we've gone the opposite way. We were doing a lot of great things, but now it's been over 20 years since 9/11. And people now are starting to forget and get numb about that. But mark my words, the minute we have another major conflict that affects American lives, it's going to come back. But it's unfortunate that it takes something like a major conflict to bring out people's remembrance on who actually defends this country.
Yeah, and you're so spot on, Travis, because that is exactly it. And I think, we need to devote more time in our schools to learning these things and to, now in this day and age of technology, it's not that hard to, get video of what happened and, the results of those things. And even to this day, I mean, you look and see, last week I saw some footage that they're looking at making it easier to go through airports than it's been. Well, why did the TSA get started? Why did it get so strong? Well, it's because some idiots decided that it was too simple and, killed thousands of Americans.
Well, when I was in the Navy, I was actually a master anti-terrorism specialist. That was literally my job field for a while in the Navy. And I can tell you that that's such a true statement there, Ron, because, remember, the bad guys, we have to be right every single time. And people forget that. We get so critical when something happens, but they forget that we have to be right every single time. The bad guys only have to be right once. A lot of people don't realize, that the USS Cole bombing, do you know that was the second, or actually, I believe the third attempt? They actually launched a boat out to another destroyer that came into Yemen, but it was so overladen with explosive that it sunk before it could get there. And that's not classified. That's public knowledge, but that's not something that's well taught about. They only talk about, oh, well, they didn't pay attention and it hit them. No, you understand, we were lackadaisical at the time because we didn't know better, and they only have to be right once.
Yeah, the odds for them are a whole lot better. And something, it's really special that you're out doing what you're doing to try and help, as people are getting ready to retire or, living their life. Someone like yourself, 20 years or what did you say, 24? Yeah. 24 years in the military. That's statistically, that's a quarter of your life, more than a quarter of your life, 30% of your life, right? So you have to understand how to build your retirement, build your wealth, build, for your family, take care of kids. All those things are required during that time period. And I'm guessing the vast majority of the men and women that go into the military are not going there following college.
Correct.
Right? They're not going, and nowadays, some of, our schools are not always graduating the most educated of individuals. So where's that going to happen? And it's really wonderful that you're out there at least giving people a taste of this. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Our season of giving, we're going to give away a trip when we come back as well. 6 days, 5 nights, Hawaii, 4 days, 3 nights, Nashville, 4 days, 3 nights, Lake Tahoe. You choose. We don't pay transportation taxes or fees, but you're going to get one of those trips. All you have to do is be in the raffle, rsrraffle.com. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments, paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as usual, I talk too much. So we're not going to do our Your Credit Matters segment this morning. I will just tell you, Borrow Smart, the #1 team in America with Homes for Heroes. Give us a call if you are, and if it's kind of fitting with what Travis just said a minute ago, if you are military, active or retired, if you are a first responder, police, fire, EMT, teachers, all of them, we are all part of the Homes for Heroes program. Discounts on your mortgage services. Josh, do we have our season of giving ready? Of course he does. There we go. Now, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of our socials, you're seeing a wheel. It looks like Wheel of Fortune for those of you that are not. Lots of names on there. I have no idea who they are. They're too small for me to read. My eyes are old, even with these glasses that are on. But in just a second, Josh is going to push the button. We're going to roll and find out a name in there. Who's going to be our winner? and somebody's going to win a trip that they get to choose where they're going. Christian White, he's been a guest on the radio program. Christian White, you have until the 20th of December, 7 p.m. to pick your winning destination. It is 6 days, 5 nights Hawaii, 4 days, 3 nights Nashville, 4 days, 3 nights in Lake Tahoe. Christian White, you are the winner of our Season of Giving trip. Next year, don't forget, next year, starting every quarter next year, we're going to pay somebody's mortgage as well. There are limitations. All you have to do is if you've done a mortgage with us or referred somebody that's done a mortgage with us, we're going to pay somebody's mortgage with certain limitations every quarter next year. Continue our conversation. Travis Winfield is with us. Let's talk. We've been talking about finance. We've been talking about education. Let's talk about real estate, Travis. Sometimes we even get away from our core discussions here.
Right.
Because we get on tangents. I've been known to go down certain rabbit trails.
I know him too, my friend.
But there was a big change in the veterans loans about a year or two ago, and now veterans can actually buy a property of any value with no down payment. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh gosh, yeah, they changed that I think 3 or 4 years ago, where they lifted the loan limit. There's now, you have the conforming loan rates, but now with the Veterans Administration, they lifted that. So as long as you can qualify for the amount you want to borrow, you can borrow 100% financing for a $5 million home as long as you have the income to justify it, which is huge. Now, the only challenge is if you have another home, there's a thing called the certificate of eligibility. I can go down this rabbit hole a lot, man. But as long as you have not bought a home or do not currently own a home using the VA home loan, you can buy as big of a house you want.
One of the things that chews my craw, many things there, but you talk about the folks that say, well, the VA home loan, there's no down payment required on it. You can make a down payment, but there's no down payment required. And then I hear various agents, and this must get you especially as being a realtor and real estate agent. They say, well, they don't have any skin in the game. And my comment is they've got more skin than anybody.
Yeah, I listen, I'm a big proponent. One of my captains back in the day told me, if the baby's ugly, call it ugly. And the ugly part about our industry is that we're riddled with the agents that unfortunately get into this industry for the wrong reasons. And sometimes they start mouthing off about stuff they don't understand. My very first realtor, when I bought a home from Italy, was back in the short sale days, kept steering me away from short sales. Why? Because he didn't understand it. I ended up getting a new realtor, and I ended up buying a home that was on a short sale. And guess what? I got a great deal on it, because you need to have agents that really immerse themselves with the market and understand different strategies so that they can really do some serious house hacking based on the current market strategies, right? Back in 2007, finding a good short sale was great. Well, then that kind of dissipated over time. Same with foreclosures. I get people calling me, hey, I'd like to buy a foreclosure. Well, I'm sorry, this is not the market for that. What this is a market for is loan assumptions, if you know how to navigate it. Like, we've not been in a situation to do loan assumptions. And remember, any government loan is assumable, whether it be FHA or VA. So a lot of people don't realize that you can assume that crazy low rate from a seller. But you got to know what you're getting into. You have to be able to bridge the gap between the sale price and what the loan amount is. You have to, there's a lot of different strategies in that, but it's something that a lot of people don't realize that are out there in an option.
What about those that wanting to buy? The comment I hear is, well, you can't have two homes with VA loans, especially when you're an active military.
That is a complete myth. As a matter of fact, you can buy a house if you bought, it just depends on the values, right? Because if you have one already, like let's say you bought a house in Podunk, Mississippi for like $100,000. Yes, it's still possible down in certain areas. And you bought that house, then you moved to San Diego, where now the loan limit is going to be in play. Well, loan limit in San Diego is like $900K, isn't it right now? Over 900. So you could literally say and still have like $800,000 roughly to buy a second home on the same certificate of eligibility.
Yeah, and so that's a key component right there that so many people are missing. Just because, I mean, I've heard some folks say, well, I don't want to use up my opportunity, so I'm not going to buy anything while I'm active because I might use up my opportunity.
Your opportunity. And that's, again, a huge myth, right? As a matter of fact, you can use it as many times as you want. And once you get out, you actually don't, as long as you have some kind of disability rating, you do not have to pay that VA funding fee that gets tacked on the loan while you're on active duty. Go figure, right? While you're on active duty, you got to pay the VA funding fee. But once you get out, you don't, as long as you get some kind of disability rating. So I also want to plug that. If you are a veteran and gotten out of the military and you have not filed for the disability rating that you deserve, that you earned, you're missing out on a lot of benefits that go along with that.
Well, that was something you made a comment on in your seminar, that you said you have someone that helps navigate that area as well, didn't you?
Absolutely. I have an attorney who literally spent time in the Air Force. Then she was actually doing the ratings for the Veterans Administration, and she saw too many of our brothers and sisters getting screwed over. So she went and got her law degree, and her entire practice is there to fight for the ratings for our veterans that they deserve.
And that could be a lot of money too when you're talking about. I think the funding fee first use is a little over 3%, I believe.
First use is 2.3%. Second use is 3.4%, I think, something around there.
Okay, I had them backwards. Okay,
yeah.
So, but if you can get that rating that you've earned, I mean, it's not like you're getting something for nothing.
Correct. Yeah, and you can get that waived. And then, and let's talk real quickly too, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time left, but let's talk too about like this current market, the media. I heard you talk at the beginning of the thing that, sometimes we poke holes in the media. I love your dialogue because it's so true. Everybody's talking that right now is the sky is falling. Oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. You shouldn't buy, you shouldn't sell. And that's why we've lost 30 to 40% of the overall sales. But here's the facts. The fact is, you're right. Right now, sellers are sitting on their homes because they're sitting on crazy low interest rates. Buyers aren't buying because we're sitting at crazy high interest rates. But are we? A lot of people don't realize the last time we had a major inflationary period was 1979 during the Carter administration. 2 years later, in 1981, do you know what the highest recorded interest rate was in 1981?
Not for the year, I don't, but I bought my first house in 83, so I know what it was around then. That was like 18%.
19.1% was the highest recorded interest rate. So now imagine we've hit the peak, I think, at 8%, but people don't realize that actually between 5 and 7% is actually the historic normal for mortgages. So I tell people right now, I'm going to wait until the interest rates drop. Well, you can do that, but do it at your own peril, because here's what's going to happen. Do you remember what it was like to try to buy a home in 2021? It was like the Hunger Games. Well, guess what's going to happen? The minute you start seeing a 5 regularly in front of it, we're tapping close to that right now, right? We're at 6.2%. The minute you start seeing a regular 5 in front of it, all these buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting are now going to flood the market with, as you already pointed out, crazy, incredibly low inventory. So now you're going to be back to the Hunger Games, where you're going to have to be able to get an offer accepted. You're going to have to offer like 50 to 100,000 over list price just to get your home accepted. Right now, we're in more of a balanced market, so it's a little easier. So I tell people all the time, as long as you can afford the mortgage payment right now, go for it.
Yeah, because here's the issue that I've shared, Travis, and I'm sure you're sharing the same thing, is you can renegotiate the interest rate, called a refinance, down the road.
Yes.
You cannot renegotiate the purchase price down the road.
No, you cannot. And right now, you actually have a little bit of leverage, because there's only an average of, like you said, 1 to 2 offers on any home. You have a little more leverage with the seller to ask for concessions, to ask for maybe closing costs, to even actually get the seller to buy down the rate. Like right now, I believe even you can offer, if you have a seller buy down the rate, you could actually get into the 4s right now.
Sure.
Right. So,
yep.
And that's something that, if done right with the proper agent to negotiate for you, that's a reasonable thing that we could possibly do right now, is to get the seller to buy down that rate so you can get it and maybe even pay some of your closing costs.
There's a lot of strategies that can be used when you know what you're doing and you've got experienced people on your team.
Yes.
That's the bottom line right there. And experienced people are generally not going to be the ones that you're going to find, your best friend's dog catcher's mother who just got a license because it was easy and wanted to save on commission.
Yes.
Think about that. I mean, I just pulled it up, Travis, because I know that you're out. I just looked in Temecula. So you got a median home price, a listing price of $889,000. So just assuming a 5% commission, you got about a $45,000 commissions in there. Mm-hmm. So people are going out there, I want to save that money. But at what cost? The cost is over the next 30 years, it might cost you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because you wanted to save a couple dollars right now. If you want some great information, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with Travis. If you're military, that's his world. He speaks that all day, every day. Be happy to put you in touch with Travis Winfield and his team. If you have an interest in getting on his mailing list to join his Zoom call for financial literacy, again, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I know where to find him. We'll get you on that list as well. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.